Hello everyone and welcome back. So in this session we are going to learn how we can configure SSL in Apache web server. So we have a two kind of a certificate, self-signed certificate and CA certificates, okay, and I am going to show you how to configure for both, how to configure for self-signed certificate and then how to configure for the CA certificates as well. Okay, and what is the difference between self-signed certificate and CA signed certificate? So it is very clear from the name as well, self-signed certificate, that we sign the certificate by our own. Okay, so certificate create the trust for the website that we access from the browser. Okay, and when we configure our website with the help of self-signed certificate, that means a digital certificate that is signed by the same entity that created it. Okay, for example, if I am going to create the certificate for digitalk.systems.com. Okay, so I am the owner of digitalksystems.com, and if I'm going to configure the SSL certificate for my website, okay, so first option I can create the self-signed certificate. Okay, so if I will configure my website with the self-signed certificate, then the user will get the security prompt when they are going to access the website that this website is not secure because the self-signed certificate will not be trusted by the browser. Okay, so this kind of a certificate we do not configure in the production. We always go with the testing development environment. Okay, or for some demo purpose. But for production environment where we do not configure the self-signed certificate, it is not recommended because the user, whoever going to access your website, will get a security prompt on the browser. It will not create the trust. Okay. On the other hand, we have a CA sign certificate where we get the certificate from some certified third-party certificate authorities. For example, Digitert, Global Sign, Very Signs. Okay. So they give us the certificate which we configure in our website. Okay. And then when the website or when the certificates are certified by the some certified third-party CA authority, then the browser trusts the website properly. Okay, so that's why this kind of a certificates we use mostly in the production or live environment, which is called the CA sign certificates. Okay, so I am going to show you how to configure the website with the self-sign certificate along with the CA sign certificate as well. Okay, we have a demo certificate authority. Okay, so we are going to use the certificate of the demo certificate authority. So now, apart from the configuration of the self-signed certificate and then CA certificate, we configure the SSL in the Apache at two level, global level and virtual host level. Okay, so in when we cover the session where we have hosted one of the static website on the Apache web server, right? So what we have learned, we have a default document root which is called the where www and then HTML. This is the default document root. So any of the website that we hosted inside this location. Okay, and if this directory is defined as a document root in your http.conf file, so this is going to be a global level of configuration or global level of hosting of the website. Right, now apart from that, what we have learned in the virtual host, that we can configure the multiple website as well. Okay, for the multiple website that we can deploy on the same web server. Okay, so this is our web server. For example, we have deployed two websites here, website 1 and website 2. The DNS for website 1 is site1.com, which we have seen as an example in the virtual host session. And for second website, we have site2.com. So these are completely different websites with the different DNS. So we need to configure the different certificates for these two websites. Right, so that means certificate that we are going to be configured at the individual site level in the virtual hosting. So this is called the configuration at the virtual host level. So this is first is the global host level configuration, and second is at the virtual host level. Right, so first I will show you how to configure at the global level, and second I will show you the virtual host level. Okay, and I am going to utilize the same website that we have deployed in the previous session. So the very beginning session we have where we have covered the hosting the static website. We have deployed one website with the context digitalk systems, right? And for the virtual hosting we have covered a demo website with site1.example.com and site2.example.com. So what I will do, I will show you how to configure the certificate, okay, for the global level, and I will utilize this website. And for virtual host level, I am going to utilize these two websites which we have already deployed, right? So this we have already covered how to deploy the website at the global level and at the virtual host level. So we are going to utilize same for the SSL configuration. Okay, so first we are going to cover the self-signed certificate, and inside the self-signed certificate we are going to cover at the global level. Okay, so what is the action plan is very straightforward. The very first step is we have to install the required tools, and two important required tools are OpenSSL and mod underscore SSL module. So mod underscore SSL is the Apache module that we install and activate for the HTTPS enabling in the Apache web server, and OpenSSL is a tool, okay, that we use to generate the key and certificates, right? So once these two utilities are installed, okay, then we have to ensure that this module is activated, which is mod underscore ssl.so. So we can use this command to validate whether it is loaded or not, or if you have enabled the monitoring console, which we have covered initially, right? Status info, and then one more was there. Okay, so you can monitor it from the console as well. Otherwise, you can quickly check it from the command line as well. So once this module is installed and activated, okay, the next step is to generate the self-sign certificate for our Apache web server. Okay, and this is the command which generate the self-signed certificate along with our keys, private key. Okay, so we have multiple parameters passed here. Let me explain you what are the meaning of all these parameters quickly. The first is open SSL and then request. Okay, so this start a certificate or self-signed signing request creation. So that means this open SSL REQ request initiate the creation of the self certificate process creation. And then we pass the argument -x509. So when we are giving the -x509, so that means we are going to configure for the self-sign certificate. Then we specify -node. So that means no DES encryption. That means it create a private key without the passphrase. Okay. So when we run this command to create the self-sign certificate, okay, this create our private key as well. Sorry. Let me go back. This create private key as well. Okay, our private key as well. So private key and public keys are participate in the encryption of the data in the SSL. Okay, so apart from generating the certificate, as I said, it create the private key as well. So when it generate the private key, there is a corresponding associated password as well. Okay, because this is a private key, so sometime or many time we protect it with the passphrase as well, but there are certain drawbacks of that as well. So if you are going to protect with the key, so every time you are going to start your Apache, then it will ask for the passphrase. Okay, and you can't do the automation. So -nodes is going to disable the passphrase, so that whenever you are going to start the Apache with the help of automations, it will automatically start and it will not ask for the password. -days 365 will be the validity of our self-sign certificate. So this will create our certificate for 365 days. -new key RSA 2048, this will be the key algorithm that is going to use for generating the certificate, and 204 is the bits. Okay, this is specifically internal for generating the certificates. -key out, this is the location and name of our key file. This is the default path of the key file that is created. Okay, and this is the certificate file, corresponding certificate file. Okay, so these are the two important things that you have to understand. Okay, this is our private key file, and this is the main self-signed certificate file. And these two configured in the SSL or in the Apache web server in the SSL configurations to enable the self-signed certificate. And this is the default location, etc, PKI, TLS, and private. And for your certificate, etc, PKI, TLS, and certs. So these two are the different locations, but the default location for your private key and for the certificate. Okay, and last is in the subject we specify our identity and then our CN. So this CN, because we are generating the self-signed certificate, so we can give the local host. But when we are going to purchase a certificate for our website from the third-party C authority, for this CN we give our complete host name, website name. So these are the important parameters that we specify when we generate the certificate. So here localhost.crt and localhost.key, these referenced in the ssl.conf file. So this is the main configuration file for your SSL, and this get created when we install the SSL module, okay, which we have covered here, this mod SSL. Okay, then this automatically configured, created, and inside this ssl.conf file, okay, these two referred. And how it is referred, let me explain you. So if suppose if you choose a different location for your files when you are generating this self-signed certificate, okay, then you need to update it in the ssl.conf file, because as I said, this is the default location which is configured in the ssl.conf file. So that's why I have taken the same location in the command. If you generate this in some different location, you need to update this path in the ssl.conf file. Okay, so once this certificate had been generated along with the private key, okay, so it will automatically configure your ssl.conf because this is the default location. After that, you just restart your Apache, and then you can access your website, global website, which you have deployed in your where www/html. Okay, so this will be automatically configured for the SSL. You can access this website with the help of HTTPS. Okay, and you will get the security prompt because this is a self-signed certificate website, right? So only the important thing, but we have to remember here, when you are running this command for generating the private key and your certificate, use the default location for both, for certificate and keys, which I have mentioned here. If you are going to change this location, you need to update it in the ssl.conf file as well, this path. And the location is installation directory of Apache, etc httpd, and conf.d directory, and then ssl.conf. Okay, this is the only thing that you have to take care here. So now let us execute this exercise and let us quickly generate the self-signed certificate and private key, and let us see how it works. So this is the document for the step-by-step action plan you can download. So now we are covering the first section, which is the self-signed certificate at the global level, right? So first I will check whether my static website, which I have hosted in the previous sessions, it is enabled or not there. So I will go to my public DNS. Okay, and the website was deployed as digitalk and systems. Yes, so this website is deployed, right? And let me show you at the server level as well, because this was covered in our static website session, where www and then html. Okay, so here we have yeah, this was the website which we have deployed. So now we are going to configure self-signed certificate for this website. Okay, so quickly first we will install the OpenSSL and the mod SSL. Okay, we'll run this command. This is going to install your OpenSSL tool along with the mod SSL. Okay, and once this is done, we can quickly run this command, which will list the SSL module whether it is enabled or not. Yeah, you can see now it is enabled. So if we run without any grep command, it will list all the modules that has been loaded by your Apache web server, and we grab the SSL, it will show you the SSL underscore module has been loaded, right? So this is done. So now we need to run this command, okay, for generating the SSL certificates and the keys, okay, which I have explained to you some time back. So just take it and run it here. Okay, now you can say it is executed, and you can validate this. Okay, so this is our key that has been generated, and this is our certificate that has been generated, right? So private key and then our certificate both has been generated, right? So we can test for the configuration. Syntax is okay. So what I will do now, I will change the ownership of the keys, okay, because I have run as sudo. So by default the root ownership has been assigned. Okay, so I will change the quickly the ownership. So ch own ownership, okay, and Apache colon Apache. For first I will change for the key, and then second I will change for the certificate, and then I am going to change the ownership mode as well, 600, and then this is our key file, and then for the certificates, right? So I have changed the ownership now. Okay, so now I am going to start the HTTP server. It has been started. Now before that one, let me show you what I was talking about. If you are changing the path, then you need to update in the configuration file. Okay, so let me open this configuration file and let me show you. This is the ssl.conf file. Okay, so here I can search for the localhost.crt. Okay, so here you can say by default your SSL certificate parameter is pointing to your localhost.crt, right? And similarly, if I search for the localhost.key, so this is, you can say, certificate p file. So this SSL certificate file is we are configuring with the self-signed certificate, and this SSL key is pointing to our key. So now if you see here, this is the exact file name and the path that we have given here in the command, this one and this one. So this I was talking about, if during the running of this command you are changing the path for your key or maybe for the certificate, then you need to update this file to change the path here accordingly, right? So this is done. So we have already restarted our server. Okay, so now we will validate the website whether it is accessible with the help of HTTPS or not. So what I will do here, I will quickly give the HTTPS now, not the HTTP. Now you can see I am getting the security prompt because this is configured with the self-signed certificate. We can click on continue. So now here you can see HTTPS is displaying on the here on the address, but there is a understrike mark on this one, right? So this is the reason this is a self-signed certificate. Now if I click on here to check for the certificate, okay, so this is the certificate that we have created, right, for the localhost. So this is the way how we configure the website with the self-sign certificate and at the global level. So when I say global level, that means the website that we have deployed inside the where and www and then your HTML, right? Similarly, if you have deployed multiple website in the same folder at the global level, so you need to configure it separately. Okay, but to configure the certificate for the multiple website which is running on your web server, we need the virtual host, right? So now next what we will do, we will configure the virtual host. Okay, SSL at the virtual host level.